Hello, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today we are going to be doing a knitting project here, and I'm using size 8 needles. And we're just going to be making a dishcloth or a face cloth or however you want to call it, or a washcloth. So of course I've got my soft background so my needles don't clank, but I've already made one here, and it's made on the bias there, so you start at one corner and then you work up until the middle, then you decrease. I love projects like this. You start off small, gets large, and then you just keep shrinking on down. Now this one does need to be blocked, but it's very, very simple. If you're a beginner knitter, you should have no problems making this. So for this project, as I said, I'm using size 8 needles, and I am using this sugar and cream striped yarn. Now these are long color changes, so I think it'll be fine for this project. And I do recommend you using a natural fiber for this project, like cotton, bamboo, you know, something like that. Alright, so as you can see, I've already gotten started here. I cast on 4 stitches, so you're going to want to cast on 4 stitches however you want. And let's get started with row 1. So row 1, we're just going to knit 4 stitches. Okay, we've got our 4 stitches. So let's begin row 2. Okay, so for row 2, we're going to knit the first 2 stitches. We're going to start increasing. And now we're going to increase, and we're going to do a knit front back. So how to do that is you're going to insert your needle like you're knitting, and you're going to yarn over like you're going to knit, but you're not going to pull it off the needle yet. So now we're going to knit in the back. So normally you would just pull it off and you'd finish the stitch. Okay, I'm just trying to angle my camera so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go back in that stitch, and I'm knitting in the back. So I'll get my working yarn here. And then I'm going to complete that stitch. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have one more stitch, 5. So we started off with 4, and now we have 5 stitches for row 2. Okay, so now we are ready for row 3. So after row 2, we have 5 stitches. So row 3 is going to be a repeat of row 2. So we are going to knit 2 stitches. And now we're going to work that knit front back again. So you insert your needle to knit. You're going to yarn over. You're going to act like you're doing a regular knit stitch, but we're not going to pull it off yet. So we're going to go behind. See if I can get a better angle here. There we go. So there we go, working in the back. So knit front back. And then you're just going to complete the stitch. Oops. Sometimes it's kind of tricky, I just demonstrated. There we go. And pull that off, and then we'll just knit the last 2 stitches. So now we have 6 stitches on our needle. So for row 4, you're going to repeat row 2. So I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, so for row 4, we will have 7 stitches. So row 5, you're going to repeat row 2, doing that increase, and you'll have 8 stitches. So I'm going to go do that. Okay, so now we're ready for row 6. So row 6 again will be a repeat of row 2, but we are going to be starting with our repeat soon. So this will go somewhere. Right now it's just these setup rows, and then we'll get into the pattern. So again, repeat row 2, and you will have 9 stitches on your needle. Okay, so now we are ready for row 7. So now we're going to get into, we already started the repeat, doesn't look like it yet because we've just been repeating row 2, but we did start the repeat. So now we're ready for row 7. So what we're going to do is what we've been doing. We're going to knit 2, and now we're going to do the knit front back. So we have 4 stitches now on the end. So this is now going to become our border stitches. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we're going to do is we are going to purl 2 stitches and then we'll have 4 left. So we're going to purl 2. And now we're going to knit the last 4. So these are going to be our border stitches too. So the repeat will be for this row, because this is row 7, is you're going to work your increase like normal. So you're going to knit the 2 stitches, you're going to do your knit front back, and then you're going to purl until you have 4 stitches left. And then, so that happened to be, we needed to purl 2, and then there were 4 stitches left. Then we just knit the last 4. So your border stitches are always going to be garter stitch. Okay, so now we are at row 8 here. So row 8, we're just going to repeat row 6, which is actually a repeat of row 2. So you knit the first 2 stitches, then we do our knit front back, and then we just knit across for the rest of the row. Okay, so we're getting there. We're slowly growing this sky. Okay, so now we are going to be repeating row 7 for row 9. So that's a purling row. We're going to knit the first 2. We're going to work our knit front back to do our increase. So now we're going to purl across until we have 4 stitches left. So we purled 4 stitches, and now we have 4 stitches left, and then we just knit those last 4 stitches. Okay, so now we do row 10, still part of our repeat here. So row 10 is going to be a repeat of row 6. So now you can start to see that it's forming that corner. So of course we're going to knit the first 2 and then work our knit front back. And then just continue to knit across. Okay, so there we go. There is row 10. Okay, and we have 13 stitches for row 10. So row 11 is still part of our repeat. We are going to repeat row 6. So again, that's actually what we did for row 10, you're going to knit 2 stitches, do your knit front back, and then just knit across. Okay, and then what you'll do is you're going to repeat rows 6 through 11 until we have a certain amount of stitches, which I forget what that is. So I will let you know right away on the screen, and I need to figure that out. And then we will start to decrease. Now again, I'm using size 8 needles. You could definitely use different size needles for this project. This is worsted weight yarn number 4 if you have lighter weight yarn. I know like Knit Picks has Dishy yarn, which is a cotton yarn, and I think from what I've heard it's a little bit lighter weight than this sugar and cream, so that is completely fine. This is a very customizable project. If you wanted to make your dishcloth bigger than mine, you could do that. If you wanted to make it smaller than mine, you could do that as well. Okay, so here is my dishcloth. So I worked up until I have 49 stitches and I ended on a row, so you want to end on a row 11. So if you don't want to work up to 49 stitches, just make sure you end on a row 11 before you start your decreasing. So here is our first half of our dishcloth, so now we need to work the second half. So it will be similar to the first half, but instead of increasing, we're going to decrease instead. So I am going to be starting on a row 6 of my repeat, but I'm going to be doing a decrease instead. So I'm going to knit my first 2 stitches, and then I'm going to knit 2 together. So just inserting my needle in 2 stitches and just knitting those 2 together to do the decrease, and then I'm just going to continue to knit all the way across, because that's what we do when we are working a row 6. So we're still keeping in pattern, but instead of the increase, we're going to decrease. So I'm just going to go and finish knitting these guys off, and I will meet you back. Okay, I finished knitting those guys off, so I'm going to have one less stitch, so now I'll have 48 stitches. So now I need to do a row 7, but we're going to decrease instead. So as a refresher, you're going to knit 2, and then instead of increasing, we're going to knit 2 together. And now we need to purl all the way across until we have 4 stitches, and then we will knit those last 4 stitches. And again, we'll have one less stitch. Okay, then just like before when we did a row 7, we will knit the last 4 stitches. Okay, so now we need to do the next row, which will be like a row 8, but we're decreasing again. So that's just a repeat of row 6, so you'll knit 2, knit 2 together, and then just knit all the way across. Okay, so I finished up that row, and this is looking really pretty with this yarn. I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but I'm kind of liking it. Alright, so now we need to do a row 9 with our decrease section. So we are going to knit 2, and then knit 2 together, And then we're just going to purl across until we have 4 stitches, and then we will knit those last 4 stitches. Okay, so we finished up that row. So that was a decrease row, but it was the same as a row 9. So now we need to work a row 10, but it's a decrease. So as before, we're going to knit 2, and knit 2 together, and then just knit across. And then our next repeat, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to repeat this row, and then you're just going to keep repeating. It's just going to be like how we repeated rows 6 through 11, but instead of the increase, we're going to do the decrease, and you're going to want to do that until you have 8 stitches left. So I'll meet you back when I have 8 stitches left. Okay, so I have 8 stitches left. So here is the back of my washcloth. Here's the front so far, and it's looking really cute. So what we need to do is finish this guy up. So we're going to still be doing our decreasing, but we are no longer going to be working in our sequence anymore of 6 through 11. So what we're going to do is I'm going to continue to knit, sorry I'm clanking, knit 2, and then work my decrease, knitting 2 together, and then I'm going to knit the rest of the row. So you want to keep repeating that until you have 4 stitches left, and then you will just bind off those 4 stitches however you like to do your bind off, and then your washcloth is all done. So I'm going to go do that and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I have finished my dishcloth or washcloth or face cloth, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. And so of course what you'll want to do is you'll need to weave in your loose ends, and then if you want to give it a light block, I mean it's not really necessary because it's going to be a washcloth and it's going to get wet anyway, but I guess if you wanted to give it as a gift, then of course you want to make it look as pretty as possible. And you could also, if you're giving this as a gift, I'm going to be giving this as a bridal shower gift. So I'm actually thinking of including like some dish soap because my daughter's getting married, so it'd be for her. And she is starting out completely fresh. She's never lived on her own before. So I'm thinking I am making some washcloths for her. So I'm going to give her this gray one here that I made, and I have some other scrubbies and things. So I think I might also get a little laundry basket and fill it with some cleaning supplies like dish soap and things like that, because she is starting out completely brand new on her own. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.